Question: what is kumis? And welcome back to Cliffieland. This is weekend country number 86 on our second attempt of cooking the food of every single country in the world. And tonight we're up to the nation of Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan, located in Central Asia, is the 9th largest country in the world and the largest landlocked one. It is on the Caspian Sea and is bordered by Russia, China, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Kyrgyzstan. And it was once part of the Mongol Empire and the Russian Empire, and the Soviet Union was independent since 1991. And its food is a lot like that of the nomadic tradition, centers a lot around meat, specifically mutton and horse meat. No, we're not going to be eating horse meat tonight. Also, they usually have a variety of different flatbreads and a lot of sour milk, also known as kumis. Kumis, a fermented mare's milk eaten by the nomads of Central Asia. Click on the link above to see the joke from the 1970s TV show that I'm referring to. But in any case, tonight we're going to be making the same dish we did last time, and that is Beshbarmak, which translates to 5 fingers, and that is normally eaten with the hands, served on a large platter, and served to the guests at the table in order of their importance. We're not doing that either. It's a boiled lamb dish, and we're going to be making our own noodles, but we're going to have to see how things went when we tried this before. Well, 4 years ago on the Global Cooking Challenge, it was the very first time I was ever making any kind of pasta or noodles on my own, and the recipe was really skimpy on information as to how to do that. I made these 12-inch round noodles, which wound up getting torn, and, well, it was basically an okay dish, except the broth I made wound up being way too salty for one of the people eating. But overall, it was okay, and we're going to change the recipe a little bit to see if we can improve on that. So, at this point, we have to see what goes into tonight's dish. For our Beshbarmak, or 5 fingers, we'll need, first, for the broth, 4.5 pounds of lamb with bones, 10.5 cups of water. Then for the noodles, 4.5 cups of flour, 2 eggs, 1 cup of water, and 1 teaspoon of salt. For the vegetable portion, we'll need 1 onion chopped, 1 carrot chopped, and 3 tablespoons of oil for sautéing. Finally, for the garnish, 3 onions cut into thin rings, though we're actually only using 2, 1 cup of chives minced, 3 tablespoons of parsley minced, and 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper. Well, this should be a galloping good time. Let's get cooking. Place the water in a large pot. Add the lamb. Make sure there is enough room in the pot so it doesn't boil over. Bring to a boil. Constantly remove the foam, otherwise your stock will not be clear. Reduce the heat when it starts to boil. Cover and let simmer for 2.5 hours until the meat is tender and falling off the bone. Then get to work on the noodles. Lightly whip the eggs in a small bowl. Then in a bowl mix the sifted flour, the whipped eggs, salt, and the 1 cup of water. Knead the dough, adding flour as needed. Knead the dough well, and then wrap in a plastic wrap, and let it rest for 20 to 30 minutes. Sprinkle a clean countertop with flour. Divide your dough into balls the size of medium-sized apples, keeping the rest wrapped so it's not exposed to drafts. Roll each piece of dough into a fairly thin layer, about 2 millimeters of thickness, and then cut into 4-inch squares, or 10 by 10 centimeters. Let them sit on a floured tray to dry, separated from each other. By the time you're ready to cook, the pasta should be a bit dry. At the 2-hour mark, season the water with salt and pepper, cover and let finish simmering. When time is up and the meat is falling off the bone, extract the bones, remove the lamb from the broth, and cut the meat into chunks. Then in a sauté pan, heat the oil over medium-high heat. Add the chopped onion, chopped carrot, and the lamb chunks, and sauté until the onions are golden, about 7 to 8 minutes. Bring the stock back to a boil, and then in batches boil the noodles until cooked through. Place the lamb in the middle of a large serving dish. Place 1 layer of noodles around the lamb. Sprinkle the lamb and noodles with black pepper, and the onions that were cut into thin rings, and serve the broth separately in small individual bowls. and sprinkle both the broth and the platter with chopped chives and parsley. And serve hot. How did that all turn out, you may ask? Well, it wasn't really the greatest thing in the world. It was very light on ingredients. I was glad that the carrots were an addition in this particular recipe, although I really do get the feeling that in some recipes, the onions on top are usually caramelized on their own. It didn't have a whole lot of variety in texture and flavor. It was just kind of a one-note thing with the lamb, but the noodles, since I'm not really used to making them, didn't have a uniform thickness throughout, so that was kind of a problem too. So I'm gonna give the Beshbarmak 3 out of 5 globes. A nice peasant dish, but it really could use something else. Maybe I'll experiment with the leftovers. But nice try, Kazakhstan. That's 2 stands down and 4 more to go. But tune in next time when we finally get back to Africa after a long time and have the food of Kenya. It's gonna be good. See you then. And remember, if you'd like to see our streams live when they happen every Tuesday night, be sure to follow us on Periscope or Facebook Live, like and subscribe to be advised when these videos are posted. Remember, links to the original recipes can always be found in the About section. And if you have any thoughtful feelings or helpful suggestions about the food that we're cooking, let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching and happy eating!